So, are you guys familiar with remote viewing?
Yeah. Oh, the terminology and kind of I understand that the CIA, I think, was working on people and getting them into trances so that they could experience it. That's about as much as I know, though.
Yeah, so essentially they um in their mind they essentially view places that are far away that they don't actually know. So they would give them like coordinates of different areas on Earth. Like they wouldn't like they don't know coordinates. Like they don't know where they give them some place in the middle of Siberia, right? And they could see like this, thing in their mind, and it just happened to be like this, secret military base that didn't know anything about. But that's just an example. But what I wanted to bring up was, lots of people are familiar with like Stargate, which is like the main CIA project for remote viewing, but a lot of people don't know about like Project Sunstreak. There's a really interesting file in there where it talks about psychic Chinese children. And what really interested me, and it goes like beyond remote viewing, right? It's not just viewing, like, in your mind. They actually like altered reality with their mind, right? And obviously you have to take it with a grain of salt because it is, China, right? But essentially they ran experiments where they broke a metal needle in half, like clean in half. And then they said, try to repair this, right? By using your mind. And they did it successfully. I can't pull it off the top of my head. I don't remember, but, they showed it under like a microscope, like before and after, and seemed pretty intact to me that they were able to do it with their mind. And then they also had them read concealed characters, like Chinese characters, in an envelope, right? So, they put a Chinese character in an envelope, they don't know what it is, and then they like hold it up to their forehead. They'd see like this outline, right? And then they could like draw out the character. Um, like this type of stuff, like it goes beyond remote viewing. Like the fact that someone is able to like again take it with a grain of salt, but like the fact that someone is able to repair like a needle with their mind, like that just goes beyond seeing, like it's doing with your mind. So, I'm really curious what you guys think about that. If you guys, really trust,
Oh, well,
you know,
this immediately made me think of this news article that I recently saw where stunning discovery metals can heal themselves. They've observed metal spontaneously healing its microscopic cracks at the nanoscale, a phenomenon that contradicts long held material theories and could revolutionize engineering. Metal can repair itself at the nanoscale. So I don't see any reason why there couldn't be some sort of magnetic incitation through the magnetic field through a phaptic coupling, like your own neurons vibrating that causes a resonance in the field, which then causes that field to cause other things to start to vibrate within that field, like
mm-hmm.
metal. That could be. I mean, it tracks logically. I don't know if it's truly happening or not.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not sure how they exactly ran the experiment. Like again, take it with a grain of salt, but we do know like for a fact like remote viewing definitely is real, but um maybe not altering reality. But another interesting one I found that was ran by the CIA, not some foreign country that we can probably trust more. Is that, do you guys know who Ingo Swann was?
No.
So he's considered to be one of the best remote viewers of all time. So he was the guy who like kickstarted the whole thing for the CIA. Like, believe what you want to believe, but he would like see different places in the galaxy, like these visions, and then he'd like paint those out into different paintings. But the most famous thing he did was that he was able to like, so there's like something like 200 feet below ground. It was like a measuring device with like a needle, right? Like a measuring needle. Um, and like he didn't touch anything, obviously, right? But he was able to move it like with his mind, and like they verified this. Like again, I can't pull it off the top of my head exactly like what he did, but that's just one instance, another instance of like altering reality.
I had an experience where I was lifting. This is about 3 or 4 months ago. I was lifting like a book. I don't remember what it was, something very heavy, and I was having a hard time balancing it. And I realized it's a bunch of electrons, and so am I. And all of a sudden, we all became one thing in that moment, and it was very easy to lift. And I realized that there is no spoon. It's just a bunch of subatomic fluctuation. And I became one with the material in that moment, and it was very easy to maneuver. So maybe it's something to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, no one thing, like we made up the idea of, like I'm holding a pen right now, right? I'm just fidgeting with it, but now that I think about it, we made up the concept of a pen, right? Like the pen doesn't exist, right? And if something individually doesn't exist, then, what makes up reality? Well, it all has to be one piece, right? Reality is all one. I mean, it goes together with like the idea of quantum entanglement, where you can have two particles separate of each other influencing, like they influence each other even from great distances apart. I don't know if that tracks or not.
I
But
mean, that's the only reason why I think anything like that is actually possible is just because we've seen it in that. I mean, it's a good placeholder for things like this. And I mean, when I get right down to it, it's hard for me to rationalize a person being able to control things or move things with their mind. Looking into the future, I mean, I've probably, like a lot of other people out there, have had deja vu several times where I'm like, what the hell? I've lived through this before. And I could literally see to the moment in my head these things that are happening in reality in front of me as if I have witnessed them before. And even to the point to where I know what was happening. I've identified, there was a person saying something on the TV. There was someone standing in a specific spot behind me. How the hell should I know that unless I've lived it before? I mean, this is like, deja vu is one of the things that I can't explain that I've experienced multiple times. And I don't necessarily think I'm seeing the future, but at the same time, it's like, what the hell explanation is there for that? If you haven't been there before, why the hell are you there right now recognizing it, So, I mean, that's one of the things that's always got me and made me think that maybe there is a neural pathway or something that we have or something that causes these connections to happen. And maybe we can physically alter some of the things that we see. Have we gotten that far? I don't know. Is Neuralink going to play a part in that? Who knows? Maybe when they start microchipping people, everybody becomes like a giant ball of radiation and starts moving shit around. Who knows? I do think it's possible. I just don't know if that's right now.
I had this plasma ball. You ever have one of those where you can like put your fingers on it and it's like points the plasma? You ever
Yeah,
see
the
those?
electricity kind of just...
I would stand across the room from it and use the force, like focus chi. I would do a lot of Reiki and Tai Chi and things like that. And I wanted it to show me that I was connecting to, and I could not get it to show me. If it was happening, it probably is invisible to the naked eye. But dude, lately I've been thinking about subatomic spin, because scientists to this point have not yet been able to explain why particles are forming at the subatomic level in the way that they are. Fermions, bosons. Why is this subatomic fluctuation, this vortexual dynamic happening? And I'm like, I think it's a cymatic phenomenon where there's a radiation or vibration, a frequency that maybe is almost imperceivable. It's so small or big, who knows, that if you ever see cymatics in action, it's where they'll run like a frequency on a plate, and then they'll put a bunch of sand on the plate, and they'll turn the frequency up. And as the frequency changes, the sand will like go into these different these forms, and they'll change the frequency, and it'll change shape. It's a wild scientific phenomenon. So if the universe is a frequency, and then that frequency changes, the shape of the subatomic space points up, and then the frequency changes, it points right, changes again, it points down, frequency changes, points left, and then the frequency changes so fast that it looks like it's spinning. And if you can somehow tap into that change in frequency, maybe you can alter the way matter forms.
I can see that, but that seems so far-fetched, being able to have enough power to tap into that frequency, let alone to actually morph it into something that you see or something that you want. But maybe it's possible that these people have that ability that he's talking about. I mean, it is a thing on here. I did go into it a little bit while he was talking and just get into it, but it is a thing. It says that our government has people that they're training to do this kind of shit, and that these people do exist. I don't know how legitimate it is, but from what our caller is telling me, that these guys have some level of accuracy that it should be questionable whether or not it's true. So,
Light, like when you this is something, it's not really related. It's kind of off. It's a little tangent. If a baseball's coming flying towards you, you're actually seeing the light reflect off the baseball and hit your eyes before the baseball gets to you. You see it. You're seeing the future. You're seeing where you're actually predicting the future by seeing the light before the matter gets to you. So that almost has nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a visual delay, right? Between like objects and like how we perceive it.
Yes, and so we've built this anticipatory behavioral function in our. That's what we are. We're basically maybe that's why when you say if someone feels good, you kind of feel it, and if you go into a conversation nervous, the other person reacts in a nervous, like they sense it before it's coming, or before it's there.
Yeah, I feel like it has to do with like the right side of the brain a lot, because what remote viewers describe when they're like sensing something is like it's like trying to remember something that like you know the idea of, but like someone's name that you know, but like you can't necessarily put a name on it, right? Like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Where it's like the idea of a thing, not necessarily like the name attached to it.
Yeah, I experienced that almost gutturally. Like my stomach is trying to understand what it is.
Yeah, so I feel like that might just be them. Like, I feel like the right side of the brain might have like definitely more capabilities, than the left brain that's just able to perceive farther beyond. Like, since it's not limited by just like time and place, like, this thing, is called this and, whatever, right? It's expanded because it, understands that like reality is all one piece. Like, it understands entanglement, right?
Yes, when you let go of the label of the structure, it's easier to experience the structure in other ways than what you like. If you stop thinking of it as a baseball and you realize it's so much more, then you might start to see it in different aspects of it or see it in different ways.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it. Have a good night.
Smooth. Your voice, it just slid right in. That was awesome.